Hello, y'all. Your girl is late because your girl took a little bit of a minute to cook, and I thought I was gonna be done in time, but it didn't end up happening. So here we are. Um, Wait, hold on. I'm trying to make sure I go live on TikTok. Okay, and we are live. Hello, everybody. Sorry for the lateness. Listen, I'm gonna just start blaming Mercury retrograde for all the shit. But no, it took me, it's taco night. So it's literally tequila and taco night. And your girl had to make the tacos. And it was supposed to take me like 15 minutes because it doesn't take that long to make. But unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, it took me a little longer. But anyway, we're still here. Welcome to Taco Night. And by Taco Night, I mean the weekly healing circle. I am having myself a nice tequila on this day because why not? Mercury retrograde is about to start, so y'all do what you need to do, okay? Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. We're going to be talking about Mercury retrograde because Mercury retrograde is starting tomorrow. Fun stuff. And we have a whole lunar eclipse coming up, so it's a lot. So we're going to get started. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes because, y'all, it's not going to take me that long to tell y'all what the messages are for this week because I think that the messages for this week are really, really, really clear. Well, let's see. I'm not trying to do an ASMR. It's just coming off that way. We're going to do the Moonology. And we're going to let's do the Enchanted map because we're going to do the Sacred Symbols too. Yo, once I start grabbing tarot cards, I cannot stop. Like, I am a menace to society with that shit. Okay. So let us read the cards. Let us read the card. Is retrograde coming? Yes. Mercury will be in retrograde in Gemini. It's going to be an experience of life. Before anybody asks me, the deck that I'm using for today is ooh, look at that flash. Chicka pow, chicka pow. The deck that I'm using for today is the Tarot of Nefertiti, which is absolutely one of my most favorite decks of all time. It's just beautiful, back, front. It's just chef's kiss. But today we are going to be talking about quite a bit of things because Mercury is going in retrograde in Gemini. Gemini, which is his ruling sign. Now, usually one of the things that I always like to express is that one, anytime Mercury goes into retrograde, it affects the signs that it rules the most. In addition to the sign that it's in. In this case, it's Gemini, which it already rules. So it's a double whammy situation, okay? It's a double whammy. Now, y'all know I'm not here to fearmonger y'all for Mercury retrograde. However, Mercury retrograde in Gemini, I'm not going to sit here and say that she's going to be cute. I'm not going to sit here and sell y'all dreams, okay? It is not necessarily going to be the easiest retrograde to get through because Mercury rules Gemini. And Gemini does not like to be restricted in any way, shape, or form. I cannot stress it enough how little Geminis like to be restricted. It's non-existent. They like to go anywhere. They like to do everything. They like to talk. They don't like to have boundaries. Okay, they don't like to have this, just none of that shit. So when it comes to Mercury being in retrograde and the energy moving backwards, the energy saying, oh no, look backwards, pay attention backwards. You can't just move forward. You can't just go everywhere you want. You can go in the parameters that I'm putting you. Like Geminis hate that shit. Okay, with that being said, Mercury in Gemini retrogrades tend to be a little bit more chaotic because, again, the energy of Gemini, which seeks liberation as the air signs do, they can't get that liberation. Not while Mercury's in retrograde. So there's a little bit of an emphasis on shit going haywire because Gemini's over here trying to bounce from thing to thing, and the retrograde's like, focus backwards. You forgot about this thing. You forgot about this project. You keep thinking about this person because you need to talk to them. You keep like, it's very much like regroup, refocus, like slow down. The one thing that Geminis don't like to do, slow down. Okay, slow the down. Okay, so because Mercury will be retrograding in Gemini, there is quite a lot happening, and you're gonna see a lot of random shit happening, a lot of random issues happening, a lot of like random text messages, a lot of random downloads. Okay, if you are focusing this Mercury retrograde on spiritual work, like, this is a great time for you to focus on spiritually developing your gifts. This is a great time on spiritually focusing on your studies, your education, your learning, your communication with, you know, your spirits, your ancestors. This is a great time to do a lot of spiritual work and do the work that you should have been doing for the past couple of, couple of months. Thank you, Skull Captain, for the super chat. There's definitely a focus on you coming out of Mercury retrograde being more clear-headed, being more clear-minded, being more focused on where you're going next, having that sense of clarity. Because the thing about Gemini energy is that it can get lost in the source. Okay, it can get lost in the source, and then when it gets lost in the source, it can, get trapped in the past in a way that is not productive anymore. And that's when they need to sort their shit out. And thank you, Maria, for becoming a channel member. Welcome to the crew. There's definitely a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and there is a need to slow the hell down. If you think that you could just do whatever you want during Mercury retrograde in Gemini, out of all retrogrades, this is not that time. This is not the time for you to, do things that are not productive to, the things that need to be resolved. This is a great time to do past life work. This is a great time to do ancestral work. This is a great time, again, to do spiritual work, focus on your spiritual studies, this is a great time to restart a project that you said you were going to do. And you told like 5 people that you were working on, like, a couple months ago. This is a great time to refocus on your health. This is a great time to focus on getting back on like track with yourself. This is a great time to go to therapy. Okay, this is a great time to do some healing work for some past relationships. This is why Mercury retrograde can be triggering for the past. There's a great time to do a lot of things, but it's not a great time to do whatever you want. It can't be whatever you want. It's very specific things. It's very why is the first card out in reverse? Like, when I tell you Mercury retrograde is just ooh. The first card out is the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay. Mercury retrograde. I'm already getting attacked with cards, y'all. Okay. Hold up. Then I gotta pick that one up from the floor. The other one that came in retrograde is the Emperor in reverse. And I'm not surprised about this because Jupiter is about to go into Aries. Wait, did it go into Aries? No, it's about to go into Aries. So there is, it's about to go into Aries. So there's definitely a lot happening there as well. But our cards for the week, we have the Page of Swords in reverse, the Emperor in reverse, the Page of Wands upright. Okay. Then we have the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Lovers, which is the card of Gemini in tarot. Y'all, listen, you can't make this stuff up. This is a time to get it together. Like, I cannot stress enough how much of a time of getting it together it is, because it is that time. It is that time to get it together. It's that time to come back in balance. It is that time to look at some of the intentions that we have set before. We're like, oh yeah, we're going to start doing this. We're going to start coming into that. We're going to start doing X, Y, Z, and B. And then we started off a new thing and we didn't get that done. And then all of a sudden, we didn't get it done. But we still need to do that thing. This is a time to restart projects. This is a time to balance yourself. This is a time to bring peace, okay, to your state of mind. This is a time to not get lost in the past, but to find resolutions through the past. This is a time to heal from past actions. Like, Mercury retrograde can be such a healing experience if you let it be, but most people would rather like bitch and whine about it. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it honest. But some people would rather bitch and whine about it and just stay hating on what's happening, hating on, you know, how it feels, how the opinions and what's happening. Oh, this is so inconvenient for me. This happened. My car broke down and it's so inconvenient for me. Okay, but where was your check engine light on for like the past month or so, and you didn't go fix that shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there are certain things that should have been addressed ages ago. Because you have not addressed them, because you have not healed them before, because you have not focused on them, now they will really break down. Now they will really go haywire. Now it's going to pop off. And when it comes to Gemini, it will happen in the most inconvenient times. It will happen when you are trying to do something else and everything just falls down. It's going to happen in the most randomest kind of ways. But this is a really, really, really good time to do a lot of healing. Really good time to set yourself up for the future, for what's coming. Especially because Jupiter is going into Aries. Jupiter in Aries moves a lot faster than Jupiter in Pisces does, because Pisces is a slower energy. Pisces is mutable energy. Pisces goes with the flow. So Jupiter in Pisces tends to be more spiritual, more dreamy, more like diving into the studies, but also like very like, oh, when I feel like it, when I'm in the mood. It's very like glamour. It's very like mystical. It's very dreamy. It can be very foggy as well. But Jupiter in Aries is a whole nother beast. Jupiter in Aries is like, let's go. Like right now, not tomorrow. Like right now, because right now. Not tomorrow, but right now. So because of that, because there's this emphasis on let's go, and Mercury will be in Gemini in retrograde saying, slow the fuck down, there's a little bit of some contradicting energies that are going to be happening. However, it depends on how you use the Jupiter and Aries energy. I cannot stress that enough. Because again, it is also coming up in reverse. This is a 2 that's coming up in reverse. Okay. When it comes to Aries energy, Aries is very much the warrior sign. Aries is the sign where you express how you go in your path, in your journey, because Aries rules the journey. Aries is the first astrological sign. Aries says, this is the direction that I'm headed in. This is my journey now. This is the steps that I'm making it, where I'm making it happen. And because Aries is very impatient, it moves very quickly to get there, which means that there's a lot of things, a lot of, you know, things that you might decide on, that you're going to try to, like, if you already start thinking about that ex that you're like, oh, why is this coming up now? Why is this person texting me? What things are going to be, people are going to be replying real quick. I cannot stress that enough. People are going to be replying real quick. While Jupiter and Pisces would have been very like mysterious, somebody could have sent a text and not been very clear. Jupiter and Aries is straight to the point. Jupiter and Aries is like, this is how I feel. Instead of, hey, and then you're like questioning, like, what does that mean? No, Jupiter in Aries is to the point. This is what I said what I said, and that's what I'm saying. So with that being said, be very mindful with how you're communicating, because you definitely can think that you're being very bold, but somebody could be taking your energy very differently. But there will be a lot of action towards like communication, towards relationships, towards a lot of things that we want to see fruition in, but have been getting a lot of, conflict. Okay, have been getting a lot of conflict. There's definitely a need for grounding. If you look at the bottom of the deck, it will tell you bottom of the deck is a King of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, and the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, which is the sister sign to Gemini. So we're getting the need to stay grounded, especially as things get a little bit chaotic. There are going to be there's going to be things that are going to be very emotionally triggering and are going to require for you to be a little bit patient. It might not seem to be possible, but I need y'all to tap into some of that Taurus energy, and stay grounded through these times, because Gemini energy, especially once the sun moves into Gemini, while Mercury's in Gemini, it's like it's Gemini season, but it's going to feel like you have like a rope on your ankles, like holding you back. Like for those who are, gonna be in their birthday season, y'all gonna be annoyed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Some of you will be a little bit irritated with the way some things are going through. And if you have not planned out your birthday to the T, I suggest you do that now, because certain things might not go the way you think they're gonna go. So I'm just saying. It is time to. There's definitely gonna be a lot of arguing. That's definitely coming up. Some of you need to stay grounded, but some of these arguments need to happen. Some of these arguments are going to push you towards emotional growth. And it needs to happen. Under the Hermit is literally the Tower. So like some of y'all need to go through some of these experiences. Some of y'all need to be called out. Some of y'all need that text message from your ex to be like, hey, so you can be in your head about it. Some of y'all need to do that so you can heal from the shit, okay? Some of y'all really, really need to get back on track mentally. Be more clear. If you set intention for clarity, if you set intention to communicate properly, if you set intention to use the energy the way that you should be using it, you'll be fine. But if you just it's like, whatever, I'm just going to put my ego first and I'm going to say whatever I want and do whatever I want and all this stuff, you're going to really walk around with your heart on your sleeve and a lot of wounds on the other one. Because that's what's going to be projected. It's going to be the things that need to be healed. Collectively, for this week, the energy is gaining momentum. Because we're also headed towards a whole lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which is the sign of transformation. Okay, so there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening emotionally. There's a lot that's the end of a tough cycle approaches, because this is the period where what happens during this month it's specifically meant to set us up for success for the future. It's not going to seem that way at first. It's going to seem like, oh my God, why am I going through this? Why is this? Why is it this? Like, why do I have to go through this? I don't understand. It could have been done differently. But you just need to trust. You need to trust that in the trials and tribulations that we will be having, that there is things happening. You might not even know how things are going to come into pass. Some certain things might not even seem like they have a way out. Like you might be stuck on something, or like you might be like, going through something where it doesn't feel like there's a solution, but there will be, and you must trust that they will be. Mutable moon, nothing is yet set in stone, because that is how mutable signs work. They ebb and flow. A time for healing. A time for healing, y'all. A time for healing, because what you should be doing right now. Healing. I told y'all, Mercury Retrograde is an amazing time to do healing work. It's an amazing time to reconnect to your ancestral practices, to heal generational trauma, to heal communication issues, to heal verbal issues, verbal traumas that you have with your family, the way that you've been spoken to before, the way that, especially if you've dealt with narcissists, like it's the time. It's the time to heal a lot of that shit. Again, it's a big healing opportunity, but all you're gonna hear is people shitting on it. Adjustments are required, because you cannot go through this time thinking that everything's just gonna be the same, because shit will be popping off, and things will be triggering. Okay, bottom of the deck, the answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. You will come out of Mercury retrograde with a lot more clarity than when you started. You just need to trust. You need to have the illest trust. Okay, the illest trust. It might seem hard. It might seem like, you know, some of these days are not going to be easy to navigate because human beings are naturally complicated. It's just naturally complicated. But you have to try your best. You have to try your best to navigate the thing. Okay. Now, wow, the messages from all set are very clear. So the first one we're getting is the Eye of Horus. Okay. The Eye of Horus. And this is all about protection work. So it says the Eye of Horus brings divine perception, protection, and insight. Okay. You are gifted with certain spiritual abilities, including divine sight, that are awakening and growing now. You have much divine support and protection so that you may grow your abilities and serve others with your divine gifts. Trust your perception and know that you are divinely protected. Because when it comes to this time, one of the things I said, this is a great time to develop your gifts. This is a great time for you to do a lot of healing. Okay? This is a great time to come into understanding about certain things that you experience, certain things that you have to go through. Like, it's a great time to do a lot of that. But one thing work, because some people will be trying it. I'm just going to be honest. Some people will be trying it. The next one, healing the divine masculine. The divine masculine within provides protection, discernment, healing, and a sense of deep safety, holding even through the most uncomfortable circumstances of life. Your inner masculine is going through healing right now, growing stronger in the ability to offer you inner protection and stability so that your inner feminine can blossom with creative expression. Please remember that all of us carry both divine feminine and masculine energies. And this is 1000% when it comes to you setting yourself up for success for Mercury retrograde. You need to make sure that you are protected. You are practicing protection work because there's certain things that can be avoided. There are certain things that can be avoided. I cannot stress this enough. So, okay. The next one is divine guardian. Okay. Divine guardian. This is the time of significant spiritual growth and healing for you. You are protected during these times by the love and strength of the divine mother Isis. Relax and allow your transformation to happen. Your divine guardian protects you now. Let go. Trust unconditionally in what is happening for you, as there is only divine love beneath the surface of the present situation. Okay. Because this is a period of a lot of growth, and you have to trust the process. You have to trust. If you don't trust the process, you're going to be hella confused. You're going to not understand why the things that are happening, and you're not going to like it. It's just not going to be a pleasant experience. And for my peoples who are born under Mercury retrograde, I am one of those people. We deal with Mercury retrograde-ish energy all of the time. This is why when Mercury retrograde comes around, like, I don't really sweat it that much because I'm like, I was born under these energies. I already know how to deal with Mercury retrograde energy, but some people just are not born under a Mercury retrograde, and so they have a harder time when everything is like, reflect, come back to center, focus, heal. Like, some people can't deal with that mentally. Some people are just like, go, forward. And so when things are like backwards, they're losing their damn minds. So keep that in mind. Some of you might find it easier to navigate Mercury retrograde energy because you might have been born in it. Okay. I do need to know collectively for this week. Okay, we have Earth, because as I said, a lot of us need to be very grounded during this time. Gratitude, because when shit is going down, when things are hitting the fan, it's really hard to see the positives in certain situations, and your spirits are going to want you to stay in that, not stay in a bubble, but like stay in a wait. Can you pay attention to all of the beautiful things, all of the things that you have, manifested, brought to life, that you have, brought into fruition? Can you think about that? Don't just think about like the negatives. Don't just think about like, oh, this happened, my whole week is ruined, my whole day is ruined. Like, can you also remember like who the hell you are, what you've done, what you've brought into this world, what you've achieved? Can you sit in gratitude for a second and be grateful for the healing opportunity that it is, instead of being a hater? Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm a little shady sometimes. Focus. Okay, focus, because intention is everything. Intention is everything. If you go into Mercury retrograde thinking that it's going to be a whole entire mess, and it potentially will, I'm going to keep it 100. It has potentials for being a little bit messy. And yeah, you should expect it to get a little bit messy here and there. But if you just think like, oh, it's going to be the worst, I'm going to get hit up and all my exes are just going to be texting me and everybody's just going to be like, everything's going to go wrong, then what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You know, you have to make it make sense too. You have to choose how you're going to use the energy. The energy is telling you, hey, from this time to this time, this is what I'm doing. This is what the energy is going to be focused in. You can bitch and whine about it, or you can do what you need to do with that time. Okay. It is not rocket science. It is not rocket science. Okay. Collectively, what do we need to, okay. Collectively, what do we need to focus on? Okay. That was a lot. Okay, so let me just okay. Number one, ghost lands, because you might find yourself spending a little bit more time alone during this Mercury retrograde. You might find certain things like canceled, or certain things not happening, or certain things just not happening in the way that you thought it was going to happen. Okay. Ghost lands is definitely a lot of things needing to be processed internally that haven't been processed yet. It's definitely going through a very detached period, but also still feeling chaotic, still feeling like there's something wrong at the same time. So it's processing a lot put on the side that was not good. Like you said, you know what, I'm going to come back to this argument. I don't want to talk about it right now, but that argument still needs to be had. You still need to have that conversation, and you just avoided it, and now we're here. Yeah, it still needs to happen, y'all. It still needs to happen. So with that being said, there are certain things that are going to melt over, like, hey, you forgot about me, and here I am. The next thing, magic stream, because some of y'all really need to cleanse your energies. If you have not done your monthly routine, and for those who are on YouTube, I know I owe y'all that video. I'm still working on it, y'all. It's been crazy. Okay, I've been trying to finish working on readings and all that jazz, but y'all's gonna get everything. I promise. Y'all's gonna get all the things. But magic stream, make sure you please connect to the element of water. Please cleanse your bodies. Please cleanse your energies. Please make sure that you are working and focusing on self-care as much as possible, because there's a lot of emotional triggers that are going to be happening, and there is a need to make sure that you are sustaining your emotional energy, that you are listening to yourself, that you are doing the best for yourself, and you need to make sure that you're going with the flow instead of fighting the flow. Okay, go with the flow, don't fight the flow. That is the general theme of Mercury retrograde. Then we have slow and steady, because things are slowing down whether you like it or not. Even though Jupiter will be in Aries, I'm telling you, that Jupiter in Aries is going to make people do some weird stuff, and the Mercury retrograde is going to be like, caught them. I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it at 100, but slow and steady, slow down. Slow down. If you're going to use Jupiter and Aries, use it on a personal level. Don't try to force your way through certain things, because you will find that some doors might not open for you during this time, even though Gemini is the road over the sign. You might find that certain things are not opening, certain things are not budging, even though Jupiter is going into Aries. Like, what you should do is focus on it a little bit more personally. Look at and reflect within yourself, your journey, what you should be working on, where you want to put your intention through, what you want to be purifying and cleansing within yourself. Great time to do fire purification rituals as well during this time. But slow and steady, things are slowing down, period. There's no changing the fact. There's nothing that can be done. We just got to ride the wave. Solitude. Okay, that's that hermit vibe. Solitude, because some of y'all need to process things by your damn self. Some of y'all need to go to therapy. Some of y'all need to really like process what has happened, your experiences, the things that you need to accept, the things that you need to process in order for you to cut into the next thing, for you to have that jumping point into the next thing. There are certain things that are unresolved, and you know what they are. You knew what they are when I started talking, okay? And you know you need to resolve them. And because they're not resolved, certain things, certain doors are not opening for you. And this is specifically the time when they're not going to be open until later. So what I would recommend is within your solitude, while you're alone, while you're practicing self-care, part of your self-care should be you holding space to you resolving some of these issues that you know you've been having so that you can release and grow from it, okay? And we have intention, okay? Intention. Because what did I say? What did I say earlier? What is your intention for Mercury retrograde? If you walk in not knowing what you're focusing on, what you're doing, and by the way, pro tip, for those who, you know, follow their transits and, you know, do the thing, where's Mercury transiting for you? Where is which house is it going to be? If you know what house is going to be, you already know how stuff is popping off. So if you have Mercury popping off in your first house, people are going to catch you in lies. If you lie, people are going to just be like, wait, people are going to, you're going to get, like, you're going to get put in a position where you are kind of being called out a little bit. You are being, you're needing to be very mindful of your words because they're affecting you in a public way. It's not just one person listening to you, it's multiple people. It's not a time to be careless with your words if you have Mercury in your first house, because that means people listen to what you say. You're not somebody that just can talk and it just goes through one ear out the other. That's not who you are. If you are like Mercury in your second house, you need to be very careful of the things that you are speaking, especially about your possessions, your money. Like, again, what house does Mercury fall in for you? Because that's where you're going to see Mercury wrecking some stuff, generally speaking. So pay attention to where it is so you know what it is. And that information would be in your natal chart. Well, you have to look at your transits, but you can also see where it would be if you look at your houses. With that being said, let's see. What do we need to know collectively this week? What do we need to know? That was a lot. Okay. I swear, I've been getting attacked with cards. The first one, family and loyalty. What did I say about you should be doing ancestor work during this time? You should be looking at some inner child healing during this time. This is a healing time. Okay. This is a healing into your practice and mentally come into clarity about things that have been confusing, things that don't make sense, things that you're like, oh, what do I do about this? Is there this is a time to do a lot of ancestral work. This is a time to also understand what traumas you're carrying generationally, what gifts you're carrying generationally. Again, this could be a great time to develop a lot of gifts, but that's not the way most people like to see Mercury retrograde. Most people will be like, huffing and puffing like every 5 seconds. But in reality, this is a powerful time to do a lot of healing. And if we didn't have the retrogrades throughout the year, everybody would just be moving forward all the time. They wouldn't take a moment to look back. So look back, take a step back, look back, Uno reverse, okay? Uno reverse yourself and reflect, because you need to do that. You actively need to do that, okay? Gemini is the first mutable sign, Pisces being the last mutable sign, okay? There is a need to reflect when it is in retrograde, because there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things that's been happening that get put on autopilot, and you're like, oh, I'll address that later, and it didn't get addressed later. So, awakening and transcendence, because again, this is the time to come into awareness. You should come out in clarity from Mercury retrograde. You should literally like come out of Mercury retrograde in clarity. You should have more of a sense of like, oh, okay, this is what it was. This is what I did. This is what it is. Like, I feel a lot better of where I stand with X, Y, Z, and B. I understand X, Y, Z. Like, you should feel a lot more clear coming out of Mercury retrograde. You should not be one of these people that's like, oh, I got thank God Mercury retrograde's over. Because that just means that you were just going through every day wishing that it wasn't there and not doing anything with it. Like, but what did you do though? What did you do? Transition, unknown. Okay, there are certain things that are going to pop off during this time that you're not going to fully be able to even expect. Okay, you might be like, what? Certain things are meant to catch you off guard during Mercury retrograde. Don't forget that Mercury and Gemini, trickster signs, trickster planet, like very much things happening out of like on some what, like out of the blue type stuff, like where you were like, are y'all messing with me? Like, what's happening? No, I'm telling you, there are certain things that are just gonna pop off randomly. You cannot predict the thing. It's just gonna pop off. So again, if you understand the energy, this is why astrology is really important. Because if you look at your transits and you say, oh, Mercury is sitting in my 7th house, that means your relationships also, because 7th house is the house of enemies. It's not just committed relationship, business partnership. It's also the house of enemies. You're going to see some activities in that space if that's where you have Mercury in retrograde, right? So you should expect certain things within that house to go a little haywire, right? And so you should expect some foolishness, some random, unknown, mysterious, like just coming out of the blue foolishness. This is why astrology is important, and this is why you should look at your transits. But there are certain things that are 1000% unknown, transformation and change, because like I said from the beginning of this reading, you should come out of Mercury retrograde season feeling a lot more clarity. Hopefully you have healed some things. Hopefully you have addressed certain issues. Hopefully you have grown. Hopefully you are feeling a lot better and understanding, okay, I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. I'm feeling a lot more grounded with myself. Hopefully that's where you're doing. If you do the work, I cannot stress it enough. Bottom of the deck is fertility, renewal, and emotional healing. What did I say? What did I say was going to happen? Y'all just need to do the work and be patient. If you do the work and be patient, you get what you want. If you don't do the work and be patient, you get rotten eggs. I don't know what you want me to tell you. There needs to be a little bit more of a focus on what it is that you're doing during this time. You can bitch and whine, or you can make something out of it. The choice is yours, okay? And that is your weekly energies. I know we're going to sign off a little bit earlier, okay? Maria said it's time to, it's time to focus on oneself and eliminate unnecessary attachments. Because facts. It's time to eliminate unnecessary attachments, because why it's spring cleaning. Just see this as spring cleaning. It's spring cleaning, y'all. Because we're about to go into summertime, and do you really want to still be hung up on that thing that you like? Come on. Let us grow. Let us move on. Let us not get to December so then you can bitch and whine about the things that you didn't get to do because you should have done it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, that, and then you didn't do it, and now you regret. Like, let's not do that. Let's just do the work and focus on our goals and get there. Because y'all know my Capricorn ass is just gonna be blunt with y'all. Anyway, that was your weekly healing circle. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my tequila now. I told y'all it was not going to take me a lot of time to do this live because I already knew what was happening. I already saw the chart. And for those who want to see my eclipse breakdown, make sure you go to my YouTube. The link will be in my bio. But I'm telling you, this is a very, very time, okay? If anybody wants a personal reading or anything like that, my website is linked in the description and in the link below, in the Link in my bio. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for the night. I'm still working on readings and emailing readings and doing all of the things right now. So for those who are waiting for readings for me, stay tuned because I'm still mailing them out, y'all. So be patient with me. I love you guys so much. Thank y'all for being here. And I will see y'all in the next live, which should be on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. We should be doing our weekly community oracle poll. There's more videos coming. For those who are on my YouTube, make sure also that you are subscribed to my YouTube because they get the majority of my content. We do a lot of series stuff over there. I have a Santa Muerte series, a comedic spirituality series. We just do a lot. We do a lot of stuff over there. There's a couple of videos coming through on YouTube you guys are gonna be excited about. Stay tuned for all of the things. I may also go to the thrift store on Wednesday with my mama, so y'all might get thrift store haul, and I know y'all love those. So anyway, I love you guys so much. Have a blessed day. Have a good night. Bye, y'all. Have a good night. Everybody stay safe out here.